Welcome back to Overtime, everyone. Boy, am I excited today. I'm joined by my friend and business partner, Anna McKill. Anna, welcome back to Overtime.
Thank you, Brendan. Always a pleasure to be here.
Yes, well, we're going to have some fun today. What I'm excited for us to jump into, and if you're joining us live, obviously, you can put your questions in the chat box. But today we're going to be taking a deep dive into one of my favorite listing lead sources. Now, we earlier were talking about our funnels, right? And you hear me say this word, Anna, all the time that real estate comes down to simple things, formulas and sales funnels. And with us being about halfway through the year, we really want to make sure that we reset, dive in, and know for our businesses, whether you're watching us for real estate, mortgage sales, whatever your sales you're into, it still comes down to dominating a simple sales funnel and getting really specific on the exact sources you want to master so that it produces the amount of sales that you want to have from them. So, in doing that, what we talked about earlier today is usually the challenge is prioritizing what to focus on, right? What is going to be that main focus? And what we're going to dive into is just kind of recapping an exercise that we find to be valuable, and then me and Anna are going to go through one of my favorites, which is the just sold lead source. We're going to talk about how to use the sales conversation. We're going to talk about how to build your database really simply on this simple call and how to understand the numbers and analytics behind that call so that you can get the results that you want. So, Anna, any thoughts before we jump into talking about the funnel?
No, I think you did a great job. And really, what we find, and you touched on it lightly, I'm just going to drill down a little bit on it, is oftentimes we see agents in one of two buckets. They either have a single strategy where all of their eggs are in one basket, or we have agents who are trying to do too many things with too many lead sources, both of them having a similar result where you're on this roller coaster. And so a lot of what we talk about is having absolute clarity. Well, that absolute clarity also transfers to where are your closings coming from? And if we can get more clear on that and double our effort on a few small action items, the better the results, the quicker the results we can find. So let's jump into the activity, Brennan. I'm going to pull up the first part of how we identify this lead funnel.
Excellent. So thank you. So what we do is an exercise. So if you're following us or just listening, you can do this later if you're in your car or wherever you're at. But what we do is we take a simple piece of paper and draw a line right down the middle of it. And then on the upper left-hand side, you're going to write down lead sources. On the upper right-hand side, you're going to write prioritize. And we're going to go through this section really quickly, but just to make sure we get to the lead source and talk about how powerful it is. But what we're looking at is, right, Anna, is we're going to put in the lead sources. So let's just say that these are your lead sources to pick from. So we've got just sold calls, ambassadors, expireds, open houses, agent referrals, golden letters. Now, whatever kind of business you're in, maybe you are an interior designer, maybe you are in financial services, whatever type of business you're in, you know that there is a series of lead sources that you usually have. The challenge with this is there's so many, and if we try to be the jack of all trades, master of none, then it gets really where none of these are getting developed to create that true funnel, right? That perfect funnel that you've developed and worked with over time to get the desired results that you want. So the first thing is we go through the lead sources. The second quick thing that we do here, and I keep hitting my wrong button because I forgot you're controlling this one, is prioritizing that into which ones are you going to focus on for the next 3 to 6 months, right? In this instance, right now, watching this video, we're halfway through the year. It doesn't matter when you're watching this or listening to it. What are you going to focus on? So now you see on the right-hand side, you've picked 2 to 3 out of all of the sources that are available. And now you're going to predict how many sales you're going to produce from each one. So we're just doing a quick recap of that and then deciding how many sales you're going to have for the next period of time. In this instance, 6 months, 12 sales. Now, we know some people are doing 50, 60, 100, 52, 1,000 sales. They still all come back down to key funnels, key sources, right? So the one that we want to dial in, and you can do this, thank you, is I did it again. Ambassadors, golden letters, and of course, just sold. Let's say if we only picked three. Now, in picking these three, we're not going to spend time talking about ambassadors and golden letters. What I want to show you as an example is thinking about on a piece of paper for your strategy over the next several months, how you're going to take a deep dive into each one. Now, the one on the far right there, the just solds, this is the one that I want you to focus on for this session. Whether you've ever done just solds or not, whether you understand what a just sold is, whether you understand how to leverage it, I wanted to spend the next 20-ish minutes breaking down how that is such a powerful strategy, but really taking it into complete detail. So you see there that, let's just say you wanted to do 4 sales from just solds. Now, I'm going to say that you're going to want to do 20, 30 sales from it, but if you've never done this before, you want to start simple and make sure you hit the goal. So you see there it says practice the just sold conversation for 15 minutes 4 times every week. Now, the big piece here is you have to practice, right? Some of us are going out and meeting clients and we're practicing on them. Some of us are just doing these things so quickly, so fast that we go, okay, pick up the phone, put this sales conversation dialogue in front of me and let me try to do my best. And then they don't get the results that they want, and then they stop doing it because they think that it doesn't work. It does work. It's you. I hate to tell you this, but it's you. You haven't practiced your tonality enough. You haven't practiced your matching and mimicking enough. You're not smooth. You've got tons of uhs and ahs in your conversation. All of these things aren't where you need to be. And then the second piece of this is you have to know how many you need to have for your target to become a reality. Now, with this particular lead source, you have to have 200 conversations, just sold conversations, for every one closed sale. So if I wanted to have 4 closed sales between now and the end of the year from this one lead source, simple math, 200 times 4 is going to be 800 sales conversations. So now I have a number that I can work with. Now I take that 800, and I want you guys to think about this for anything you're doing and just reverse engineer it. I take 800, divide it by the number of weeks left in the year that you're going to work, and let's say that that number is 23, and it's going to give you a number, 34.78. Well, let me do that again. 800 divided by, let's say it's 23 weeks. Yeah, 34.78. So I know I need to have 35 conversations about just solds, and we're going to talk to you about what that call is here in just a second. If we take that 34 and divide it by 5 days a week, I have to have 6.95, 7 conversations a day with just solds for my goal to become a reality, right? Now, here's the thing with just solds, and you can go to the next screen. We'll talk about this here in a second, right? The just sold call, I want to talk about the mindset of it. I want to talk about the theory of it. You might go, wow, 7 conversations a day, not 7 calls, 7 conversations a day for me to do 4 sales? Well, you have to understand with just solds, they're very quick calls. You're going to be calling someone that so you're going to take a just sold, whether it's from your personal sales, from your office, from another agent that maybe allows you to make calls on their behalf or door knock, or you're going to make calls from your brokerage, your entire brokerage, because when you're with a brokerage, let's say that I'm with XYZ company, and if I'm with XYZ company and that company just sold a home in a neighborhood that I would like to continue to sell in, I can say the word we. We just sold the home at 123 Elm Street, right? We just sold the home at 123 Elm Street. And we're going to talk about the whole way that the conversation works, but when we utilize that conversation, now we're powering the leverage of our size and now we get to go into understanding the next piece of this. When we're talking about just solds, what we're trying to think through is we're trying to find additional sellers, and we're trying to let them know that we just sold the property, and because we just sold it, we still have additional buyers that might be interested in this area that missed out on the last sale. Now, Anna, this
Brendan,
happens to be my favorite call. Go ahead.
I was going to say, but here's the thing, and I'm going to throw this objection in because we hear it so often. But Brendan, I don't have a buyer for that neighborhood. How can I actually call and have the just sold conversation?
Yeah, what's a great question. So you do have a buyer. So we've talked about this a number of times. Every single property that's available, if somebody's willing to sell it, there is a buyer willing to buy it. And you have to look at yourself first as an investor, and whether you have no money or zero money, you have to look at other people in your office that are buyers and understand this simple concept. Every property has buyers waiting for it. It just depends on what price. So you're never lying, you're never embellishing when you don't say you have buyers. You have tons of buyers because you're a professional real estate agent. You have access to the MLS, you have access to all the agents in your office, you have access to investors. If you put a property on your social media and say, look, I have this new listing, is anybody interested in buying it? You're going to have buyers if it's the right price.
Mhm.
Right? So you're dead right, Anna, is people get so caught up in this psychology of going, well, I'm not working with Susie right now that happens to be looking for this exact neighborhood. So they have this hesitation about making this phone call, and it's makes no sense. And we're going to show you a simple conversation that's from our sales conversation book that you can utilize that just makes this so easy. But you have to get through your brain of this limited belief that you're somehow embellishing that you have this specific buyer. When you're using the sales conversation correctly, it's going, we have buyers for your neighborhood. Of course, we have buyers for your neighborhood. There's everyone's buying in every neighborhood at any given moment, at any time of day, anywhere in this country.
Just check Zillow. There's 10,000 buyers that looked at the previous home. You don't think there's buyers for the area? That's silly. There's always buyers. Yeah.
Exactly. So this is where people get stuck. But yeah, we got to break out of that mindset and just look at this and go, this is an opportunity to make a relationship, to open the door enough for me to make an introduction so I can meet someone, leveraging the fact that another home just sold in their neighborhood. And when done correctly, it will build your database very, very fast. It will get you listing appointments very, very quickly. And it's what the top agents across the country utilize when they really want to dominate a specific area. They just, and now here's the other piece too, Anna, is you don't even have to say we just sold a home. Let's say that your competitor just sold a home, or another brokerage, or another office, or another agent. You can just say a home just sold at 123 Elm Street. It's two streets over from where your home is. It sold for $350,000. It took it 7 days to sell. And because there's so much activity in this neighborhood, if you have any interest in selling, I would love to bring a buyer to you. Right? That's a version of the sales conversation. Now, just like with everything, you're going to get better with repetition, right? First time you do this, you're going to be like, I got a buyer for your property. And they're going to be like, yeah, I'm not interested. They're going to hang up and you're going to go, "Arr, arr, arr," and you're going to kind of curl into yourself and go, oh man, that sucked. That was painful. And then you make the next call or the next knock on the door. Where this is more powerful, of course, is in person, right? You leverage it just sold and go, hey, I just want to introduce myself. The property over on 123 Elm Street just sold in 6 days, sold for X amount of money. I was just curious because we know we still have a lot of buyers for this neighborhood. I was just curious if you were still interested in selling your home. And then they'll either say yes, no, or whatever it is. And we're going to teach you this conversation today so you can get down what we call our check downs, right? The most powerful agents on earth are just really skilled at doing check downs in their sales conversation. Now, we're going to show you one for just solds. You can use this check down for just listeds, for expireds, for sale by owners, for your center of influence, or AKA what we call ambassadors. But you've got to get used to doing it so you sound professional and smooth and confident, right? Confident.
Right.
So much of sales comes from confidence. That's why dedicating 30 minutes to an hour a day of actual sales conversation role play is what separates the average from the great. But every day I talk to agents, and we say this all the time. I'll be like, so how much time a week are you practicing? It's usually very little. They're like, oh, I maybe 30 minutes. And
I
then when I
meant
hear
to.
maybe 30 minutes, yeah, I meant to. I didn't have it time blocked. I didn't do this. And then they can't figure out why they keep getting the same results. They just
Mhm.
can't figure it out. And I'm like, you're getting the same result. We've talked about this in any type of profession. And I happen to, and I know Anna is as well, is we're both trying to learn how to play golf at a better level. And they say that you need
Yeah.
4 hours of practice for every 1 hour of play. Well, what people do is they do that in reverse. They go play for 4 hours and they do 15 minutes of practice on the driving range.
Right.
And then they cannot figure out why they keep shanking the balls, flying them all over the place. They can't hit a putt. And I'm talking
And I
about
was gonna
myself
say,
here,
and they spend
right?
no time on the putting green at all, and they wonder
Nope.
why they're losing every single hole. It's the same
Right.
difference. Yeah.
It's the same thing, except the difference in this is you can make millions of dollars. Right? That's the biggest difference. Not that you can't make millions in golf, but it's going to be a long road for either of me or you to make millions in golf anytime
Right.
soon. Yeah.
LPGA, wait for me. I'm coming.
Yikes. Yikes. I mean, I wish, I wish. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
genetically in me, but it's genetically in anybody for real estate. It doesn't take
Mhm.
talent. You just have to do a few simple things right. So
Yeah.
let's jump into the actual sales conversation, and we'll run through this so that you understand the checkdowns. So what you're seeing here is what we call the just sold conversation. Now, what we're going to look at here, and I'm going to just blow it up on my screen because I've done it so many years that I kind of ad lib it, but I just want to make sure everyone understands the perfect concept of what this looks like, okay? So when you're dialing this, first let's talk about where do you get the phone numbers. Okay. Now remember, anything we talked about here is for educational entertainment purposes. You got to follow all the TPCA or TCPA guidelines. Never call anybody on the do not call list. Never knock on anybody's doors that you're not supposed to. But when you're utilizing this, you're going to find a radius of a home that just sold. So, like we said, we're just going to use the example of 123 Elm Street. Let's say whatever neighborhood it's in. Now, you can use data aggregators to find you contact information, of course, that are not on the do not call list. Or you can go and have this conversation in person, and it works even better because they get to see you, see that you're a normal human, and they're going to be nicer to you, to be quite honest. Okay. Now, here's how this conversation goes. So you're going to call and or door knock, and you're going to, if you're door knocking, I'll do a different version of this, but let's just do the call first. So, hi, I'm looking for Anna.
Yeah, this is Anna.
Yeah, hi, Anna. My name is Brendan Bardick with Elite Home Partners. We just sold the home at 123 Elm Street, right next to that little cute coffee shop called Perks. I'm not sure if you're
Oh,
familiar with
sure.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were using Colorado's most innovative home selling program, Sold in 65. Now, this conversation has been customized to our team, but you can see how you can just say, right where I just said most innovative home selling program, you can just say that using, or well, let's just say that you didn't close this home. You would just cut that part out and just say, a home just closed by the Perks Coffee Shop. And we know that several buyers missed out on this property that are extremely interested in this area. So I was calling to see if anyone you know might be interested in selling.
I can't think of anyone off the top of my head, no.
Okay, well, Anna, I appreciate you taking the time to think about that. So, Anna, with so many buyers interested in your area all the time, if you were to move, where would you go next?
Arizona, I hate the snow.
Arizona. Okay, Arizona. And if that was the perfect situation, well, I'm ad libbing already. And if that was the perfect situation, when would that be?
The kids are graduating in 4 years, so that's kind of our timeline.
Okay. And Anna, can I ask, when was the last time you had a detailed market analysis completed on your home?
Oh gosh, I don't even know. In a long time.
Okay, in a long time. And so right now, if you can see here on the sales conversation, if they are moving, right, then you would skip down to the bottom where it just simply says, great. Oh my gosh, I'd love to set up a one-on-one meeting so we can show you how easy well, sorry, skip that part. So on this sales conversation, right, what you would go to next is you would set the appointment, right? So if she says, I haven't had a market analysis, you would say, great, I would love to come over and show you exactly what we can do to get your home sold. Now, the check downs on here are, if she were to say no, you would say, okay, well, I'd love to provide you with a monthly valuation snapshot for you through my partners at HomeBot with the number one valuation tool out today. I'll show you the monthly market value of your home. What's a good email address for you? So all we're trying to do here is capture their email address so that you can provide them more information. Now, if they say yes or no here, right? If they go, wow, I'm never going to move. We go, okay, well, Anna, I can appreciate that you have no plans on moving. Would you be, or do you currently own any investment properties? She would either say yes, no, or whatever it is. If she doesn't own any investment properties,
Well,
right,
Brendan,
you would
let's run
skip.
through that. Let's run through that. So if you ask if I have any investment properties and I go, oh, it's always been a dream of ours, but we don't have any. How would you answer that?
Oh my, oh yeah, well, excellent. So what I do is I help buyers and sellers build wealth through real estate. I would love to come over and meet with you or set up a time so that we can discuss how you can purchase your first investment property for little to no money at all. Do you have availability this week, or are weekends better for you?
Mm, yeah, this weekend.
Right? So Anna, let's take the script away because I want to do this in real time and just show how this natural conversation works.
Yeah.
Right? So let me take it through in real time. Okay. Now, and what I want you to do is just say no to everything, right? As we
Got it.
go to this and, until the very end, right? Just so you can understand what we got to get comfortable with the no's so that we're used to understanding how we have to understand. We've counted these numbers. We know that it takes about 28 to 31 no's to equal one yes, right? So that's why when we're saying 200 conversations equals out to the amount of sales you're looking for. When we say yes, that might be a yes just to come over and meet with them, not a yes to list their house. And we also have to understand the simple concept that it's not if, it's when, right? What we're trying to build here is a not that they're going to sell today, it's if they're going to sell when they're, or not when they're, not if they're going to sell, when they're going to sell. That's all we're trying to do. So let's run through this in real speed.
Okay.
So I'm on the phone, and then I'm going to show you how to do this in person. So ring ring.
Hello?
Yeah, hi. I was looking for Anna.
Yeah, this is Anna.
Hey, Anna. This is Brendan Bartik with Elite Home Partners at Keller Williams Real Estate. Hey, we just sold this amazing property at 123 Elm Street. We had a ton of buyers interested in it. And so what I'm doing is I'm calling the neighbors to just see if anyone else might be interested in selling so I can direct these other buyers to that home. Do you have any interest in selling?
No, not at this time.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, well, let me ask you this, right? Because we do have so many buyers for your area. Anna, if you were to move, where would you go next and when would that be?
It's gonna be to Arizona in the next 4 years after the kids graduate.
Oh my gosh, Arizona after the kids graduate. Where are they in high school now? Or are they currently in high
Yeah.
school?
Yeah, they're just moving into high school.
All four of them. Wow. So you had
Yeah.
quadruplets or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Excellent. I don't even know what the word for four is. Excellent. So once they graduate high school, then the plan is to head down to Arizona. Well, that's amazing. So Anna, can I ask you, right, with you moving to Arizona, when was the last time you had an actual analysis of what your home is currently worth? Have you had an analysis done lately?
I mean, we've been in here 7 years, so yeah, not in the last 7 years.
Okay. Well, what I would love to provide you with is a free complimentary market analysis. I'd love to come by, meet with you, take a look at the home. And what I do with all my clients is I help them understand what they could possibly get in the return on investment for maybe any slight improvements you want to make to the property so that when your time is ready, right, in the next couple of years, we can maximize the overall value. It's completely free, no obligations, but I've got time. I can be in your neighborhood this afternoon about 2 o'clock, or would this weekend be better for me to stop by?
I would say probably this weekend. That's when my husband is home.
Okay. Oh my gosh, this weekend. So excellent. So if she said yes right there, then I would set the appointment. And it's to go over offer value for free. I would do an analysis, talk about things that they may want to do compared to the other properties to enhance the value and build the relationship. Let's go to the other route and say that you say no.
Brendan, I appreciate it, but I'm not interested.
I completely understand that, Anna. And Anna, just because I have you on the phone right now, do you guys currently own any investment properties here in the area?
No, we've always wanted to, but we don't have any currently.
I understand. Okay, excellent. Well, what I'm doing is I'm putting on a free first time home investor seminar. It's going to be in 3 weeks. It's via Zoom. You don't even have to leave your house. It's going to break down the entire process of how easy it is to build wealth through investing in real estate. I would love to send you an invite to that. What's the best email address for me to shoot that invite to you?
Yeah, Anna@yahoo.com.
I love that. Thank you. So, and I will get that invite to you. I would love for you to be able to join us. Tons of great information there. And whatever you decide to do with it, no worries whatsoever. And then lastly, Anna, the last thing is I put out an amazing report, market report for all of the neighbors here in the area. It goes out once a month. It tells you all the details of everything that's happening in your area so that you can know when the time comes how to make the best decision to move forward. So, is it all right if I send that market report to that same email address?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Wonderful. Well, Anna, I am so excited that we were able to have this conversation. I look forward to having you join us for our first time home investor seminar, and I hope you have an amazing day.
Thanks, Brennan.
That's it. And then you hang up the phone, right? So all I'm trying to do is for every call is to, let's say that she said no on the investor. Then I go my next check down to the market report. Let's say that she says no on everything. She says no on everything, no worries. I move on to the next call and have the same conversation over and over again. And I keep having to make sure people are clear on this. The money is in the mundane. The money is not in this massive, BS that we see on TV and I'm going to go sell cajillion $1 million penthouses. If you really want to consistently get wealthy at this, you do the consistent activities over time and it produces compound interest. Until you're not going to have to do this forever, until you have a big database, right? Once Anna now becomes my client, she comes to the first time or investor seminar. She learns all these things. I come over and take a look at her house to tell her about tips to make sure that she gets the most money out of it when she's ready to sell. I build this relationship to her. After this call, I send her a handwritten note card saying, Anna, it was so wonderful talking to you on the phone. If there's anything I can ever do to help you with anything at all, please just let me know. And then I sign my name, right? And that's it, right? I build a relationship out of this, not trying to shove anything down anybody's throat, but I've got to have checked it. Now, the last thing I'm going to say with this final few seconds here, where the pros get really good at this, and we talked about this in some previous videos, and if you haven't watched those, just go through some of these videos below, is we also need to have options, right? So if I would have called with this situation and she said, yeah, look, I'm not going to be ready for 4 years. One of my immediate checkdowns that I always went to was, Anna, so I appreciate you're waiting 4 years. What if it was an amazing cash offer at the number that you wanted that you just couldn't pass up? If you got a number for your house right now that just blew you out of your socks, would you consider moving prior to the 4 years? Right? So these little nuggets that I'm trying to make sure you go through here, think about it if you were on the other end of that phone. What happens? I could already watch her and her brain start
Right.
thinking. She starts going, well,
What
if it
would that
was an
number be?
amazing number, yeah, there's
Yeah.
always this what if, like what if, and then our limited belief is we can't go and produce that cash offer. We never said that we could deliver on it. We said what if. Remember, always use this. What if I could use a magic wand and got you got you the price that would blow your socks off, and that you could obviously do whatever you wanted to and move to Arizona, would you be interested? Now, she has 4 kids in high school. I understand that's probably going to be the challenge, but maybe you never know, right? The inception piece happens here. She goes and talks to her significant other or whoever it is tonight, or if she's by herself, she just thinks about it and goes, well, I wonder if I could get an amazing price where, because of where the market is right now, maybe we could just go into a rental for a few years that could put us in the deposit that we want to make down in Scottsdale. And maybe we could accelerate this a lot quicker so we don't miss the good market. You don't know what people are thinking. You have no
Right.
idea, but you've got to throw it out there. And that's what comes from this practice is you're just hearing the very basic standard ways of doing things. that is not where we want to be. We want to take it to the next level. So, Anna, any final thoughts before we jump off the just sold conversation?
Yeah, I just want to remind everyone that even if I had just shut him down, no after no after no, here's the silver lining. It still counts as a conversation. It's one more conversation that you're closer to hitting or exceeding your goal. So I think oftentimes just lean into the growth process of it, learn from the no's so that you can get more yeses. And the last thing I'll say is, as you're practicing, it's great to practice on your own. Listen to yourself, record yourself, be in the mirror. But really, if you want to up level, and we kind of talked about it today in our coaching session, Brendan, is have a powerful partner. Surround yourself with people that are willing to give you critical feedback so that you can get better, not the people that are going to go, nice try. That was great. You're wonderful. You're going to do good. That's not going to help you, right? And so I would just say surround yourself with powerful people, put in the practice, and every no is one step closer to a yes.
Yeah, and just remember, it's all about energy, right? If you're
Yeah.
not an outgoing person, and believe me, this is not who I am in real life. I am not this theatrical person. I have to ramp myself up and just go, look, I'm going to hit the phones. Do I want to talk? If I'm on the other end of the phone, do I want to talk to somebody exciting, or do I want to talk to somebody being like, hey, Anna, we sold some houses in your area. We have some buyers. Do you want to sell your house? They're going to be like, is this a telemarketer? You've got to come from the heart and be like, we just sold a home. We need more buyers. I use my hands a lot, and they teach this in neurolinguistic programming. I get excited because if I'm excited, she might get excited. And then that means I might have a chance to meet with them in person. So it's the level that you play with. It's this theatrical hat that you have to put on during these moments, and you have to come with it. And I get people all the time, Anna, like that are nervous to do this in front of others in the office. They're like, I'm going to make my calls, but I don't want anybody to hear.
Right.
At my office, again, I'm at a stand-up desk right now. It's a stand-up desk. Have a headset on. Everyone's like, holy mackerel, this person's so loud and yada, yada, yada. And it's like, because I'm here to make money. And if you're not here to do the same thing, then I'm not sure why you're here. So you have to have passion. You have to fall in love with it. Now, we ran out of time. We'll talk about the door knocking version of this later, right? But it's the same thing at the door. It's opening the door, smiling and going, oh my gosh, we just sold a house. Can I help you? What can we do? And if they say no, then go blah, blah, blah. Then go check down, check down, check down. Try to capture some information so you can market to them in the future. Send them a handwritten follow-up card, note card, and then you build the relationship from there, make them an ambassador, and sell them houses in the future. Remember, every single person in your database could possibly be worth 5 sales lifetime. 5 sales over the course of a lifetime from one person, from the relationship you made in that moment. Is it worth going all out? I believe it is. So, everyone, thank you for joining us for Overtime. We had a blast. If there's anything we can ever do, feel free. Make sure you subscribe, ring the bell, do all that great stuff. If you want to download the conversation book to get practice into this, and also, we have our whole entire conversation book recorded on our podcast with the 50 most common objection handlers. If you want to get good at objections, when she says no to something, all of those things, you can listen to that over and over again, brainwash yourself, and you'll have massive results, and we'll have that below. So everyone, have an amazing day, and let us know if we can ever do anything to help you. Take care.